Well, hello, everybody, and welcome to another edition of the Book and Banter Society. Now, why would a middle aged woman want to become friends with a group of teenagers? Hmm, question mark. Well, that is the premise of the movie Ma that came out in 2019, rated R, with a running time of 1 hour and 39 minutes. Before we get started, as always, I want to say thank you. Thank you for your time. It is greatly, greatly appreciated. And also, too, don't forget to like and subscribe. And of course, hit that notification bell. And in case you didn't know it, I am a writer and I do have a book, and it is called The Creeping Things and Other Tales of Madness and Mayhem. And you can find my book on Lulu, Amazon, and all over the place. I'm worldwide. Just joking. And also, too, look me up on Instagram under the Book and Banter Society. Disclaimer: the views and opinions expressed on the Book and Banter Society are my opinions and my opinions alone. I am not a professional movie critic. I am just a person that loves movies and I like to share them with you. And also, too, there may be things in these movies or things that I may say that may trigger you. There's talk of violence, gore, I mean, you name it. So I'm just letting you know you have been warned. And spoiler alert, I will not give away the ending of any of the movies, but I do talk about them a lot. So, okay, disclaimer out the way, spoiler alert out the way. All right, let's keep going. The movie starts out with a high school student named Maggie and her mom, Erica. Now, they just moved back to Erica's small hometown to make a fresh start. Maggie, she's a little nervous because it's going to be her first day at a new school. Her mom, Erica, it's going to be her first day on her job. But the mom is like, we got this. So Maggie feels confident. And then she enters a school and look at her. She's kind of like, what the heck? Because it's a big school, it's crowded. So she's just trying to make her way through it all. So in the first picture, you see Erica, the mom. She's a cocktail waitress at a small casino. She's feeling a little awkward, a little uncomfortable because it's her first day. And then you have her daughter Maggie. She's in the library eating lunch by herself. And then all of a sudden, these group of teenagers come in. And the one standing up, her name is Haley, and she's just straight up, hey, my name is Haley. Where are you from? Da da da. And Maggie, she just doesn't give a lot of information. She goes, I transferred here, whatever. Then Haley grabs her phone and she starts plugging in her phone number, and then she looks at the group and she's like, hey, Stephanie, is your party still going on? And then Stephanie's like, yeah, yeah. But then that's when Maggie is like, oh, you know what, I already have plans with my mom. We're going to a music festival together. And then Haley's like, "Oh, okay, whatever." But then Haley's kind of like, "Ugh, if you want to hang out with a bunch of old people, okay." So then they leave. But look at one of the guys. It's like, damn, he's already looking at Maggie already. He kind of like, hi. But actually, Maggie kind of likes it. So when they leave, she kind of smiling to herself, like, oh, okay, maybe the first day of school is not so bad after all. So it is now the next day, a Saturday. And as you see Maggie's mom, she's dressed up like she's going to work. And Maggie's like, oh, what's going on? And she goes, hey, I'm sorry. I can't make it to the festival. I have to fill in for somebody. And she's like, you know how it is when you're the new person and I need the money. So Maggie, she is disappointed, but she's really not mad at her mom because she understands. So you see Maggie, she's in her room eating pizza, bored to death. Then she remembers Haley's phone number. So she grabs her phone, she starts smiling, and guess what? She sends a text. And the next thing you know, look who shows up at Maggie's door. It's none other than Haley. Maggie gets into the van, and in the van, there's a couple of guys in there. And Haley says, "Boys, this is Maggie. Maggie, these are the boys." And they introduce themselves, make little wisecracks and stuff like that. And Haley tells her, "Hey, the party's canceled because Stephanie's mom is a bitch." But we're gonna just drive around and drink. Are you down with that? And Maggie's like, sure, okay. So they park at this small little convenience store, and inside Haley's vaping, the guys are vaping, and Haley goes, hey, want to vape? Maggie's like, oh, I'm good. And it's like, oh, okay. So anyway, and Darrell, he's outside trying to get an adult to buy them alcohol. Now, I know you guys may be thinking, oh my God, I've never heard of anything like this before. But actually, in my generation, I vaguely remember seeing this. It's like teenagers, they would, like, say, for instance, teenagers, they would kind of like hang out just for a few minutes at a corner store, waiting for an adult to come out or enter and, like, hey, can you buy me a beer or something? And nine times out of 10, an adult would, oh, okay, and buy them a beer or something. I know it sounds weird, but I do remember it being not that uncommon to see. And I guess who knows, maybe in small towns it still happens like this. So anyway, that's what the teenagers are doing. Darrell, he's like, man, these people are effing racist, man. So he's not having any luck. And Haley's like, well, I can't do it because the owner of this convenience store, he knows my stepdad, so I can't do it. And so then they decide, hey, Maggie, you're the new one. Why don't you do it? And Maggie's eyes get big, like, what? Like beg for alcohol? Maggie's not having any luck, okay? Then this lady is crossing the street with the dog. And that's when Maggie's like, oh, can you please help me? He's like, what? And then the lady's like, do you wanna go to jail? What are you doing? And then that's when Andy gets out the van and he's like, "Oh, sorry, ma'am, sorry." Then that's when the lady, whose name is Sue Ann goes, "Oh, I get it. So you're getting a girl to do your work for you? Is that what you're doing?" And he goes, "You know what? We just wanted, to do a little bit of drinking at the rock piles." And then that's when Sue Ann goes, "Oh, yes, I remember the rock pile. Oh, yeah." So then that's when she kind of smiles a little bit. Andy smiles at her. And then that's when Maggie kind of inches towards her and kind of like hands her the money, like, come on, do this. So to make a long story short, as Sue Ann agrees, she goes, "Oh, hell, hold my dog." So she goes into the convenience store, and all the kids are like, yes. So just a few minutes later, Sue Ann comes back with a box of alcohol. And she goes, okay, I don't know what Fireball is, but I got you something called Aftershock and blah, blah, blah. And then Andy, who's driving, he goes, oh, thanks for this. And then she winks at him and says, thanks for what? I didn't do anything. Oh, and the other ones are like, ooh, like she gave him a little wink. It's like, ooh. And I forgot to tell you the reason why Sue Ann agreed to do this is because Andy was like, "Oh, since I'm driving, I won't be drinking. I'm like the designated driver." So whatever. So Andy is getting ready to make a turn to drive off, and then boom, there's this loud noise on the window. And look who it is. It's Sue Ann. And it's like, "What?" So, they roll down the window, and she goes, "Hey, you forgot your change. What do you think I am, a thug?" And it's like, a thug. No, miss, we don't think you're a thug. So they took the money and like, thanks. And look at Maggie. Maggie's as they're driving away, Maggie is like, ooh, that was weird. And Maggie's right because it is weird. So Sue Ann gets back to her desk. She actually works at a small veterinarian hospital. So look at her. She's on the computer because Sue Ann made note of the company name on the van. So look at her. She's doing digging. She finds out Andy's first and last name. And look, now she can see the names of the people that were in the van. It's like, whoa. And it gets even more weird. Now, the next thing you know, Sue Ann gets out her phone and she calls the number to the company. So this guy answers. He's like, hello, this is Ben. Who's this? Sue Ann doesn't say who she is. She just tells Ben, you may know a young gentleman who is doing a little bit of drinking today. So while she's on the phone, Sue Ann's mean boss comes in and she immediately gets off the phone, and Sue Ann's boss is like, "What are you doing? Get off the phone. You know what? Just go home. I don't even wanna see your face." It's like, "Damn." Man, so they are tossing it back. Then the next thing you know, the cops show up. It's like, "Oh my god." They're like, "Hide the weed, whatever." Then the cop goes directly to Andy with his flashlight and says, "Your dad sent me out here to arrest you." It's like, "Oh my god." But then the cop goes, I went to school with your dad. I played football with him. Your dad's a jerk. And then that's when people started laughing. He goes, you know what? I'm giving you guys 10 minutes to wrap this up, get all this stuff out of here, and leave. And they're like, okay, okay. So they are like so grateful. And look who we have here at the bottom picture. We have Erica waiting on Maggie to get home. Maggie gets home smelling like weed, you guys. And the mom is like, what is going on? Smelling like weed. And that's when Maggie's like, yes, I was around weed, but I wasn't smoking it. And then the mom is like, I need you to make some better choices. And then Maggie goes, oh, like you? Ooh, Maggie is lucky because I thought for sure the mom was gonna slap her face, but the mom didn't. The mom was cool. It's like, woo, Maggie got lucky. So we assume it's the next day, and here we see Maggie's mom, Erica, dropping off their dog at the vet. So she just tells Sue Ann, who's at the front desk, you know what, all this paperwork and stuff, can I fill it out later? Because I'm running late for work. And Sue Ann goes, yeah, yeah, sure, whatever. So Maggie's mom leaves, and look, Sue Ann is watching her leave through the parking lot, and there's that mean boss. That mean boss is like, "What are you doing? Get back to work. Don't you see this effing phone is ringing?" It's like, damn. So then it's early evening, and Maggie's getting ready to go out. And so, they make up, and everything like that. And then that's when the mom is like, "Well, you're dressed like you getting ready to see a boy. What's up?" So they make a little small talk or whatever, and then Maggie leaves. What, so here we go again. Here they are in the van. There she is again, Sue Ann, giving them alcohol again. And she always tells them, just follow behind me, off the side of the road and give me the money. Because, she doesn't want any trouble. So the next thing you know, they're driving a little further. So they're like, what the F? And the next thing you know, they come to a house and it looks like it is Sue Ann's house. It's like, okay. So Andy gets out, and follows Sue Ann to the house. And he walks back to the van and they were like, "Oh, so does she want the money or what?" And she's like, "Oh, not exactly." And it's like, "Well, what does she want?" It's like, "Well, she says we can party at her place." It's like, "What?" And then Darrell, he's like, "Mm-mm, we don't know this lady. That's not a good idea." And look at Sue Ann at the picture down below. She's like, "Hi." It's like, "Oh, hell no." But then, they agree to like, what, just F it. Let's, let's just party at her place. And then Haley, because she had to use the bathroom anyway. So they're like, come on, let's just go. And so then that's when Sue Ann opens up her basement and they get out the van and follow her down to the basement. So Haley immediately runs to a small bathroom that's in the basement while the rest of them take a look around. And Haley, after she gets out of the bathroom, she's frightened because Sue Ann is like right there and with that weird look on her face. It's like, what? And she lets him know, okay, you guys, I have house rules here. Number one, you do not take the Lord's name in vain. Number two, do not spit on my floors. And number three, I need your keys because before you leave, I need to make sure you guys are okay to drive. It's like, ooh, this is getting more and more creepy. And she also tells them upstairs is my domain. No one goes upstairs. You guys just hang out here and do whatever you need to do. So she's going upstairs, and then Darrell is like, "Hey, Ma, you got some pizza rolls or something?" And then she looks back. She's like, "Ma? Like, what?" And then they think she's kind of mad about it, but then she's kind of like, okay, you guys, I'll get you guys some snacks. And look at Haley. Haley's like, wow. And they're like, yes, man. I mean, this is heaven. Well, maybe not. I mean, look at these pictures right here. So, anyway, the next thing you know, one of the guys is telling her, we'll call her Ma now, telling Ma, you know what? If you fix this basement up, man, you could have a nice little kick it spot. Get you a rug down here, do this and that. This would be cool. Then all of a sudden, Ma goes, you want to see something cool? Bam! Then she pulls out that gun and look at them on the couch. They're like, whoa. And then the guy is like, oh. And then she says, strip. And he's like, "What?" She goes, "Strip." So, he takes off his shirt, he's down to his underwear, and she's like, "That too." It's like, "What?" So he is nude, you guys, and she looks at him up and down like, you're a cutie." And it's like, "What?" And then she says something like, "Okay, am I cool enough for you?" or something like that. It's like, "What?" So he gets dressed again and he's like, Ma, oh my God, you are something else. You are crazy, but in a good way. So it's like that was a weird incident, but they got over it and everything like that. And the next thing you know, guess what? Looks like Daryl's a little drunk. So they're going to take him home. And then Andy goes, oh, you know what? Thanks. We're going to go. And then before Andy leaves, look at her. She's like, like she's like she's a cop. She's trying to see if he's too drunk or something. It's like, girl, bye. Oh my God. So Maggie's mom is going away for the weekend for job training because she's a cocktail waitress at the casino. However, she wants to make a little more money, so she wants to be a card dealer at the casino. So that's why she'll be away for training. And she tells Maggie, don't let anybody in the house. She's like, I won't. So then it's after school, and Haley's like, come on, invite us over your house now that your mom is gone. And Maggie's like, I can't let anybody in. And besides, we're not even unpacked yet. The place looks a mess. So they're walking to the van and look, Ma is just around the corner. Oh my God. Look at, not even around the corner. She's hiding behind a wall. So anyway, there's a box at the van. And at first they're like, oh, we're not touching this box. It could be a bomb or something. So Andy bends down, it rattles like if there's bottles in it. And Chaz opens it up. He's like, yes. And then the next thing you know, they get a message from Ma. And look at her looking crazy on the cell phone. She goes, hey, you guys, it's 5 o'clock somewhere in the world. Ah, acting crazy. And they're like, yes. And then they're like, all right, we're going back to her house. And look at her kind of smiling. She's like, yeah, I knew you'd come back to me. Okay, so now they go back to Ma's house. But guess what? Look, there are tons of people because now she's just inviting everybody at the school. Whoever wants to come, come. And look, she even refurbished the basement. So look at it. Now it really looks like a party hangout. So Maggie and Andy are like, whoa, they're shocked. And look at Ma with a rerun hat on. Oh God. Some of you young people are like, rerun hat. What's that? It's from an old show called What's Happening. There was a character named Rerun. Look it up. But look at her with a rerun hat on, being the ultimate host. Oh my God. And to me, this is one of the funniest scenes in the movie. She's like dancing. Then all of a sudden, she tells Darrell, wind me up. She starts doing the robot, you guys. The robot was a popular R&B dance back in the 1970s. Oh my God, look at it. She is doing the robot with her rerun hat. This is too much. So the music is playing, and look, she's touching on Andy. And the other picture, Maggie's kind of looking like, okay, she peeped game a little bit. Like, I see you touching my man. Okay, okay. And look at them. Everybody is having a ball. And Ma, she's looking like, yeah, I got him. Okay, so once again, Haley has to use the bathroom, and she can't use the bathroom in the basement because someone is, let's just say, there might be having relations in there. So then Maggie goes, we can't go upstairs. She goes, look, I'm going. So, anyway, to make a long story short, they go upstairs. Just when Haley is leaving the bathroom, they run into Mom. Mom grabs them and literally slams them up against the wall and says, what the F are you doing up here? And they are in shock. First, they're shocked at her cussing, and they're also shocked at her attitude. And she's like, get the F back downstairs. And it's like, whoa. So they scramble back downstairs and they're like, we're out of here. So they leave with the guys. Then the next day, just text messages from Ma. Oh my God, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. All of this. Then at school the next day, they run into none other than Stephanie. And Stephanie's birthday is coming up. And she's like, hey, do you think that lady, she'll let me have her birthday party in her basement? And they're like, yeah, yeah, I guess, if you tell her, I'm sure she'll hook up decorations and everything like that. And Stephanie's like, yeah, because I heard you can basically do anything at her house. It's like, oh my God. So word is getting around. So then Andy has a brief conversation with Maggie, like, oh, can you be my girlfriend? And she's like, okay. So everything's right with the world. And then, boom, something scares them. And look who it is. Oh my God. It is Ma. She is actually, don't know how she got through school security or whatever, but she is actually on campus. And guess what? She's like, hey, you guys, I got a beer bong table. I mean, a beer, yeah, pong, a beer pong table set up. And I got a big old keg of Bud Light. And the guys are like, we're good. I got a report to do, study for a test. And she goes, okay, come on. How about you girls? Come on. Are you girls down? Oh, and this is another one of my favorite scenes. That's when Haley looks at Ma and says, "Damn, Ma, don't you got a job?" Whoa. Then Ma looks at her and says, "I guess I'll have to work a double shift since no one wants to hang out with me." Then Haley makes it worse. Her eyes get big and she looks at Ma and says, "Girl, you need to get a man." How disrespectful. She called her girl. She said, "Girl, you need to get a man." Oh my God. Then that's when Ma tells her, "Girl, you need to watch your mouth." And then Ma storms off. Okay, it looks like Ma is supplying another group of kids with alcohol. And as usual, they drive up the road so she won't get caught. And she thinks they're going to park behind her and come out their car to give her the money for the alcohol, but they don't. They actually drive past her, call her a loser, give her the middle finger, and take off. Has Ma changed her ways? As you can see, the answer is no. And this scene is hilarious because the music playing is Kung Fu Fighting. Oh my God. If you are not familiar with that song from the 70s, you have to play it. I love that song when I was a little girl. Everybody was kung fu fighting. Oh, and it was actually a number one hit. One of the reasons why is because in the 1970s, Elvis started doing kung fu fighting. Bruce Lee was popular. So everybody was into karate and kung fu. And this song was made and it was a number one hit. So anyway, it's just so funny it turned up in this movie. So look at Mom. She's doing kung fu fighting. She's kicking these beer cans and having a blast because this is Stephanie's birthday party. Why Andy and Maggie would show up? I don't know. I mean, come on. Why would you show up? But they do. Maybe because it's like, well, Stephanie's our friend, whatever. And then the next thing you know, Maggie and Andy, they're making out a little bit. And look who's watching, Ma. She doesn't look too happy about it. All right. So now we have Maggie and Andy. They are at the mall. And Maggie is like, I don't even remember the party. All I remember is getting there because what happened was during the party, Maggie all of a sudden it was almost like she got drugged or something. She was totally out of it. So she's telling Andy, "You know what? I don't want to go over Ma's house anymore." She goes, "Please, let's not go over there." And he's like, "Okay." And Haley's telling Maggie, "Oh my God, why don't you block Ma? Because Ma keeps texting her and all this stuff." And then Haley goes, "You know what? I'm just going to send a message to everybody." So she sends a recording. She's all, "Listen up, everybody. Ma, she's a bitch. Everybody, please block her." Little does Haley know that Ma is watching the recording while she is getting a pedicure. And the lady next to her is not too happy. Oh God, this scene is very, very funny. So, anyway, to make a long story short, Ma is blocked. So it's almost midnight. Maggie wakes up, and guess what she wakes up to? Ma. Ma is like, "Guess what? I have a new phone number." It's like, oh my God. And look at her. She's like, "And look what I'm picking up some stuff. And don't tell me you have to study for a test. Don't let me drink alone." Then she starts this dance. Don't let me drink alone. Don't let me drink alone. And then look at her. She goes, "Come on, you guys. I risked my job to hang out with you." And all this weirdness. It's like, oh my God. Well, I guess Ma found out that approach is not working. So she tries a different approach. Look at her. She's like, "You guys, I really, really need to talk to you guys. It is very serious. Please, let's meet at the rock pile. I really have something important to tell you. Okay, so the question is, will the group of teenagers meet Ma at the rock pile so she can tell them something important? Will they meet her? Hey, you'll have to watch the movie. And look here, look at Ma. She's all dressed up, got a little cleavage going on, got the girls out a little bit. She's having a drink. Look who she's having a drink with. She's having a drink with Ben, which is Andy's dad. Why she got a little cleavage showing having a drink with Andy's dad? We don't know. Then the next thing you know, look, she shows up at Maggie's house and she pretends she doesn't even know who Maggie is. So, you guys, what is going on? But I'm not going to tell you because remember, I never give away the ending. You'll have to watch the freaking movie. My overall impression of this movie, I absolutely loved it. One of these movies that I'll be coming back to for many years to come, and I can guarantee this is going to definitely be a cult classic. The movie, don't go into it thinking the movie is totally silly and it's just a, low budget B movie. Oh, no, no, no. It's much more than that. This movie deals with past trauma. If you watch the movie, you definitely know Ma is suffering from some past trauma, social isolation, manipulation, how Ma can manipulate these teenagers, and it deals with obsession. And is this movie flawed? Of course it is. Two major flaws for me is the fact that, okay, Ma is a middle aged black woman living by herself in a small town, and she's supplying underage white teenagers with alcohol, and she's also taking them back to her place so they can party in her basement, smoke weed, and drink alcohol. So, yeah, would that happen in real life? I don't know. Hell, I wouldn't do it, right? And I don't know what was up with Ma's boss, right? Every time she saw Ma, she was just so disgusted. Get off the effing phone. What are you doing? Oh, I don't want to even look at you. Get away. I mean, it's like, whoa, she treated Ma like a dog. But I guess Ma had to take it because, I mean, she is in a small town and new jobs probably are few and far between. So, gosh. So, yeah. So, anyway, in a nutshell, definitely this movie had some flaws. And also, the teenagers kept right on coming back. I mean, when she pulled that gun on Chaz, and he had to strip down nude, and she was like, "Ah, it's a joke." Oh, hell no. But that would have been it for me, but damn, it seemed like these teenagers, they really like to drink, so they just kept on coming back. But that's all part of them being teenagers, and it's a part of the manipulation process. And the director of this film is Tate Taylor. He actually has a small role in this movie, playing a police officer. And actually, he has directed Octavia Spencer once before, and that is in the movie The Help. He was the director of that film. That was what, back in 2011, I believe. So, yeah, excellent, excellent job. And if you get a moment, I suggest you check out the stars of this movie. I personally think this was a very, very solid cast. It's one of those things where Octavia Spencer, she didn't have to carry the movie on her shoulders. You know what I'm saying? I mean, everybody held their own and did an excellent job. But I will say, I can't think of another actress that could have played Ma. I think because Octavia's acting is so good that, she brought the character to life. I mean, she brought out some of the the silliness, the quirkiness, the disturbing behavior. I mean, everything. And I know some people are like, why was she even in this movie? She's an Academy Award winner and, all this stuff. Why is she in this film? The thing is, I think sometimes with actors and actresses who are on that level, they're looking for something different, and why not? Because this movie is definitely different. And I could tell she had a lot of fun making this film. But not only that, this is a Bloomhouse film. If you're not familiar with Bloomhouse, they produce a lot of, I guess you would say, good quality, low budget films. I'll give you some examples. Insidious, Paranormal Activity, Lords of Salem, the Purge franchise, Black Klansman, Bingo Hell. Oh my God. That's a good one. The Exorcist, Believer, Black Phone, Megan. Remember that one? And everybody's favorite, Get Out. So, yeah. And Octavia, she's probably like, you know what? I want to do something, something a little more, I don't know, youthful, I guess you would say, and capture a different audience. And I think in this movie, she has done just that. And as always, thank you so much for listening. And if you heard any noise in the background, that's because it is 4th of July, 2026. Hope you guys had a good one. And until next time, stay safe and take care. Bye. And as always,